Good morning, all of you. Today I am going to talk on a X-ray crystallography and X-ray diffraction method by which we can determine the molecular structure, right? So this X-ray crystallography, basically it is a technique which is used to find the atomic and molecular structure of a crystal. Okay, means by this technique you can determine the structure, means molecular structure of a crystal, right? So in that crystal atoms, they causes a beam of incident X-ray to diffract into many specific directions, and by measuring these angles and intensities of these diffracted beams, a crystallographer can produce a three-dimensional picture of the density of electrons within the crystals. Okay, so from this electron density we can be determined. So we can also determine the position of atoms with the crystals, then which chemical bond is there, we can also determine it, then disorder and various other informations by using X-ray crystallography. So this method which also revealed the structure and function of many biological molecules such as vitamins, drugs, proteins and nucleic acids, also like DNA. Okay, so this is the general information about the X-ray crystallography. So the first, that is the British physicist Sir William Henry Bragg pioneered determination of crystal structure, means in that arrangement of atoms and ions he found by X-ray diffraction methods using X-ray crystals data. Dr. James Watson and Dr. Francis Crick, they were able to determine the helical structure of a DNA. As we know ki they discovered the structure, Watson and Crick model, you know guys, right? So in 1953 by using the X-ray crystal data. Then in 1998 Dr. Peter Kim, who was also a scientist, was able to determine the structure of a key protein which are responsible for the HIV infection process. So and the X-ray chromatography, it is a complex field that has been associated with the several of science major breakthroughs in the 20th century. So we know ki so by this data we can say ki this technique is very important, or we can find out many things by using X-ray crystallography. Okay, so now what is X-ray diffraction? So as I told you ki in that ki the electrons, they diffracted in a different direction, right? So X-ray crystallography, it uses the uniformity of a light diffraction of a crystals for what? To determine the structure of a molecule or atom. Okay, so then they use an X-ray beam to hit the crystallized molecule, right? And the electrons surrounding that molecule, they diffracts as the X-ray hit them. So this form a pattern in diagram you can see, and this type of pattern is called as a X-ray diffraction pattern, right? So this is an X-ray diffraction patterns which are formed when X-rays are focused on a crystalline material. So in this case, like a protein. So each dot, it's called as a reflection which forms when X-rays passing through the crystal and scattered, right? So there is a single diffraction which is an oldest and most accurate method of X-ray crystallography. That is a single crystal X-ray diffraction. In that what happens, a beam of X-rays, this strings a single crystal, that's why they named it as a single, right? So they strikes, or we can, any means you can pronounce it like what you want. So single crystal which producing scattered beams. When they land on a piece of a film or other detector, these beams make a diffraction, means pattern of a spots. You can see in the diagram also. The strength and angles of these beams are recorded as the crystal is gradually rotated, right? So each spot is called as a reflection, since it corresponds to the reflection of the X-rays from one set of evenly spaced planes within the crystal. So for single crystal of sufficient purity and regularity, X-ray diffraction data can determine the mean chemical bond length and angles, right? So here you can see the structure of molecule by X-ray crystallography. So first, that is crystal, you can see when X-rays we process there is a formation of a diffraction patterns, then different phases by which you will get the electron density map, and lastly you will get the atomic model by means the structure of the molecule by the X-ray crystallography. Okay, so here also you can see in the diagram, right, how they get diffracted. So diffracted beams, then you can see there is a diffraction pattern which is present on that screen when they process X-ray beam, right. Now the instrument components of X-ray diffraction. Generally a typical X-ray diffraction contains a detector, X-ray source, crystals on the end of that mounting needle, then liquid nitrogen steam to keep crystal cold, and movable mount to rotate a crystal. So these are the general components which are present in the X-ray diffraction. Okay. Now how it proceed actually. So the first step, that is researchers crystallize an atom or a molecule, because precise position of each atom in a molecule can only be determined if the molecule is crystallized, because we are performing a X-ray crystallography, right. So for that we need a crystallized molecule. So first step which is very important for this particular technique, that is researchers crystallize first atom or a molecule, right. Then if the molecule or atom is not crystallized from, the X-ray will diffract unpredictably, right. कारण ते कसे पण काय होणार आहे तुमचे डिफ्रॅक्ट होणार आहे, अँड द डाटा रिट्राइव्ड विल be too difficult but not impossible to understand. So that's why first step, that is we need to take a crystallized molecule. The crystal should be sufficiently large, that is typically larger than 0.1 mm in all dimensions. Then it should be pure in a composition, and it should be regular in a structure with no significant internal mistakes, like there should not be any crack or twinning. So we need a means we need a this type of a molecule who fill this type these different conditions, right. Then the second step is that the crystal is placed in an intense beam of X-rays, usually of a single wavelength, that is monochromatic X-rays, which producing the regular pattern of a reflections. So as the crystal is gradually rotated, previous reflections disappear and new ones will appear, right. So the intensity of every spot is recorded at every orientation of this crystal, which is a second step for this technique. And third and the final step is that these data are combined computationally with a complementary chemical information to produce a refined model of the arrangement of atoms within the crystal, right. So the final refined model of the atomic arrangement, now called a crystal structure, which is usually stored in a public database also, which is the last step. So this method is very simple, by which we can determine the molecular structure of that molecule, right. Now the uses of X-ray crystallography. It is used to study many material which form crystals like salts, metals, minerals, semiconductors, as well as various inorganic, organic and biological molecules also. And also it is determine electron density, the mean position of the atom in the crystal, then chemical bond, their disorder and various other informations will get by this technique. It is used for identification of size of atoms, lengths and types of chemical bonds. So this method also reveals the structure and function of many biological molecules like vitamins, drugs, proteins, as we already discussed about it. Then it is also used to identifying crystalline phases and orientation, right. Then by this technique you can determine the structural properties, or you can also determine the thickness of thin films and multi-layers. We can also determine the atomic arrangement, right. So X-ray diffraction technique, it has also been applied for the analyzing and chemical composition of milk stones also. So these are the uses of X-ray crystallography. Now it has some advantages and disadvantages, like X-ray is the cheapest, right. So the most convenient and widely used method. Then X-rays, they are not absorbed, means very much by air, so the specimen need not be in a evacuated chamber, right? So we don't need to close all, like we don't need to take more care about this because it is not absorbed, right? It has some disadvantages, like they do not interact very strongly with the higher elements, sorry, lighter elements. So that is the disadvantage of this technique, and it is relatively low in a sensitivity also. So these are the disadvantages of X-ray crystallography. So this is very simple technique by which you can, determine the molecular structure. So it is allowed for the discovery of the structure of DNA also. Then it allows researchers today to see how certain factors may affect the protein structure. So it has many applications in proteomics also, right? So by this we can characterize enzyme, then we can determine the protein structure like primary, secondary, tertiary. So these are the uses or main applications of X-ray crystallography. Okay, so I hope you guys understand what is actually X-ray crystallography. Okay, thank you.